Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part, too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Join the mobile infantry and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. The bugs send another meteor our way. But this time, we're ready. Planetary defenses are better than ever. Klendathu, source of the bug meteor attacks, orbits a twin star system whose brutal gravitational forces produce an unlimited supply of bug meteorites in the form of this asteroid belt. To ensure the safety of our solar system, Klendathu must be eliminated. We break net now and take you live to Klendathu, where the invasion has begun.
DXQ uplink on 2, 1, you're on.
We've just landed here on what Camp Troopers are calling Big K, with a 6th Mobile Infantry Division. It's an ugly planet, a bug planet, a planet hostile to life.
That clip serves as our entryway into the 23rd century. This look at the future is not quite dystopian, but it is militaristic, where the government is controlled by hardened veterans of war, when democracy and science brought the world to the brink of ruin. They took over. This leads to only those that serve being given the rights of a typical citizen through service, in fighting an enemy that is unlike us, but is more dangerous than any we can imagine. Released in 1997 and directed by Paul Verhoeven, Starship Troopers tells the story of a group of high school seniors in the utopic city of Buenos Aires, preparing for high school graduation. They are faced with decisions regarding their future, especially underachieving jock Johnny Rico, played by Casper Van Dien, who is born into an affluent family and decides to enlist. His friends Carl, played by Neil Patrick Harris, Dizzy, played by Dina Meyer, and girlfriend Carmen Ibanez, played by Denise Richards, also enlist. And shortly after, they are thrust into war with the Arachnids, insect-like aliens that only want to destroy humanity. In our next clip, the student's war veteran teacher and later commanding officer, Mr. Ratchek, played with hardened greatness by Michael Ironside, advises them on the fall that we previously discussed, and tries to get them to understand the importance of serving. Then we hear Rico's civilian parents show disgust at him potentially deciding to go serve.
Rico. Rico! Rico! Pay attention.
Sorry, Mr. Ratchek.
Let's sum up. This year we explored the failure of democracy, how the social scientists brought our world to the brink of chaos. We talked about the veterans, how they took control and imposed the stability that has lasted for generations since. You know these facts, but have I taught you anything of value this year? You, why are only citizens allowed to vote?
It's a reward. What the Federation gives you for doing federal service.
No. Something given has no value. Look, when you vote, you are exercising political authority. You're using force. And force, my friends, is violence. The supreme authority from which all other authority is derived.
My mother always said violence never solves anything.
Really? I wonder what the city fathers of Hiroshima would say about that. You.
They probably wouldn't say anything. Hiroshima was destroyed.
Correct. Naked force has resolved more issues throughout history than any other factor. The contrary opinion, that violence never solves anything, is wishful thinking at its worst. People who forget that always pay. Rico, what's the moral difference, if any, between a civilian and a citizen?
A citizen accepts personal responsibility for the safety of the body politic, defending it with his life. A civilian does not.
The exact words of the text. But do you understand it? Do you believe it?
I don't know.
Of course you don't. I doubt anyone here would recognize civic virtue if it reached up and bit you in the ass.
And now, Rico and his parents.
Who said you could grow up so fast?
Mom, don't get mushy.
This came for you today. I presume it's your request.
A lot of my friends are doing federal service.
Well, you're not thinking of applying.
Have you lost your mind? I'd rather take 10 lashes in public square than see you ruin your life.
It's a term of service. It's not a career. I just want to get out on my own. See the galaxy for a couple of years.
Johnny, people get killed in the federal service.
Who gave you this idea? It's that teacher, isn't it? What's his name? You know the one I'm talking about.
Mr. Radchek.
Radchek? Silly name. There should be a law against using a school as a recruiting station.
No, Radchek doesn't do that at all. He sort of discourages you.
Well, that's good. Because you're going to Harvard, and that's the end of it.
It's my decision, not yours.
Oh, is that how it is, huh?
Wait, you two. Dad and I have a surprise for you that will settle this. Can you guess what it is?
No.
You wanted to see the galaxy? How about a trip to the outer rings? Zegama Beach, huh?
I've always wanted to go there.
Good. Good. Then it's all settled.
Verhoeven, much like his previous science fiction films, RoboCop and Total Recall, uses over-the-top satire to address what he perceives to be as current flaws in society, or even flaws that he foresees could be issues down the road. Here it is the vision of complete military control. In our next clip, we hear Carl, who is now in military science, explain why his friend Rico's unit was sent on a doomed mission. Although it is a very brief clip, I want you to hear the callousness in his voice and why they sent these soldiers on a mission that had almost no survival rate whatsoever.
Officer on deck.
Carry on. Burial detail. Dismissed.
That is.
How are you, Carl?
Carmen, good. Johnny, I'm sorry it had to be your unit on P. That mission had a very low survival probability.
The bugs laid a trap for us, didn't they?
Elegant proof of intelligence, isn't it? We thought there might be a brain bug on P.
You knew and you sent them anyway?
We couldn't afford to launch an operation if there wasn't one. You don't approve? Well, too bad. We're in this for the species, boys and girls. It's simple numbers. They have more. And every day I have to make decisions that send hundreds of people like you to their deaths.
Didn't they tell you, Colonel? That's what the mobile infantry's good for.
I hope you're ready for more. We're going back to P to capture that brain.
The roughnecks are always ready, sir.
I hear they need a new lieutenant. Want the job?
I'll take it. Till I get killed or you find someone better.
Attention, all personnel report to your station.
Earlier, I mentioned Verhoeven's 2 previous ventures into science fiction before this film. And while I do enjoy both of those films, personally, I feel this is the best of the 3. I saw it in theaters upon it being released in November of 1997. And despite being a freshman in high school, I did not quite get the satire at play. Unfortunately, audiences didn't either. Critics used the depictions of violence and a perceived pro-military message to criticize and bash the film. It only made $121 million against a budget of $110 million. Nearly just a break-even film. Fortunately, the film has become a cult classic. It has spawned 4 straight-to-video sequels, an animated series in 1999, and several comic book series and video games. This film is an excellent example of satire being used in science fiction and being used well. It keeps the viewer fixated on the screen with action and amazing special effects. It has snappy dialogue, and once again the satire just drives the film as being much more than a simplistic, mind-numbing popcorn flick. By the end of the film, it should make the viewer think on how much stock any government puts in their military and what the ramifications of doing just that would be. I cannot recommend this film enough. It is a great example of science fiction action at play and is a must-see. I hope you will join me next week with a quote-unquote double feature as we start a special series for Black History Month. On February 1st, we will look at a private investigator that ends up being hired to locate a local crime boss's kidnapped daughter. It is the 1971 film Shaft. Then, on February 3rd, we will take a look at a Harlem drug kingpin looking to go legit after one last major score. However, there are others on both sides of the law that want to stop him. That film is 1972's Superfly. For WMNH and Matt Connarton Unleashed, this has been a classic film review with Erich Pilcher.